It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Welcome to Living the Bible with Mieko Namihira.
Hello everyone. Today's topic is Creation versus Evolution, number 5. For many centuries, the scholars discredited the Bible and gave the explanations why Bible cannot be dependable. Often the Bible was categorized as one of the fairy tales. The Bible records and its historical accounts were proved mostly as the truth with the archaeological findings and fossils and other things. The Bible includes the topics of the wide variety. Bible benefited many people on this earth in the past, in the present time, and it will benefit many people in the future. Yes, there were some difficulties to comprehend in certain portion of Bible, and that includes the creation record of Genesis of Old Testament. The atheists seem to have the strong position to oppose the Bible's truth, especially against the creation records. But as the science advanced more, it opened up the way to discover things to prove that Bible record of creation is not fairy tale, but the reality. Genesis 1:6 through 8 says, And God said, Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made a firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. These verses says, firmament is heaven. There is waters under the heaven, which is ocean, river, ponds, lakes, and streams, and there is waters above heaven. The Hebrew word of the firmament is rakia, R-A-Q-I-Y-A, and it means to put the pressure and stretch it as a thin metal plate or board. The experiment showed that the hydrogen can be compressed with very low temperature. Then it can manifest the characteristic of the metal. It is fiber optic and possesses magnetic field and good electricity conductivity it has. It is transparent and shines pink in color. It is transparent and shines in a pink color. 11 miles above the earth is extremely cold, very low in temperature. It's about minus 100 degree Fahrenheit to minus 180 degree Fahrenheit. It is considered that the firmament of the heaven made out by the compressed hydrogen surrounded the earth at a level of 11 miles above the earth, where the temperature was the coldest. Then, above that hydrogen firmament, there was the frozen water layer. This hydrogen heaven and water around it were the great greatly beneficial to the living thing on the earth. This Hebrew word rakir, which is translated as firmament and means heaven, is made out of the frozen hydrogen. It was clear, so people could see through the sky and stars. It was fiber optic, so it could carry the light. It possessed a magnetic field. This gigantic magnetic field gave sensitivity to the lives of animals and mankind to respond to the nature. For instance, they didn't need a watch to tell the time. Each cell of the human or living thing responded to the magnetic field energy to know the time, just like the certain migrating bird can tell its course to migrate, guided by the magnetic field energy. Then the hydrogen firmament possessed good electricity conductivity, and it shined in pink color. This pink color is a color of the early morning, very faint, beautiful pink color. It enhanced the hormone called norepinephrine, and that worked as a natural tranquilizer, and it helped immune system to be much stronger and active to keep the living thing in healthy condition. Then, this hydrogen firmament was surrounded by the frozen water layer. This frozen water layer was pulled toward the earth because of the gravity of the earth. That ended up compressing the hydrogen firmament and the air layer. Because of that, the atmospheric pressure that time was about double of the present time now. Because present time atmospheric pressure is 1, so at that time it was 2. This high air pressure, atmospheric pressure explains why those heavy birds and certain dinosaurs with a wing could fly in the air even they were so heavy. Because the pressure of the air was very great that time. And the fossil and other things suggested that the oxygen content was much higher than now. It's about 20% now, but it was 25% then. Also, it was higher in carbon dioxide content. These were the reason why the animal and human grew much bigger and faster in size and lived longer before the flood. It also explains that the certain dinosaur had the extremely big body but small lung, which made it difficult to supply oxygen to its big body efficiently. Yet, because of the high content of oxygen in the air, it could saturate and supply the hemoglobin and also serum with oxygen to make it possible to supply the oxygen to its gigantic body of dinosaurs. Dr. Mori in Japan did a very interesting experiment. He had his office in the basement. He grew tomatoes there. He got a fiber optic cable and guided the light from the top of the roof into the basement. This device excluded the ultraviolet radiation, which is harmful to the living thing. He surrounded the plants with a plastic cover to increase the air pressure and the carbon dioxide. Tomato grew in 2 to 3 weeks. Usually, tomato plants die within 5 to 6 months, but Dr. Mori's tomato kept on growing. In 2 years, it grew 16 feet, and 903 tomato was harvested. Today, that tomato is 30 feet long, and 5,000 tomatoes were harvested. High air pressure and high content of carbon dioxide and oxygen, and elimination of harmful short-wave rays such as ultraviolet ray causes living things grow fast, larger, longer, and healthier. It is considered that was the condition of the earth before the worldwide flood recorded in Bible. In Texas, an interesting experiment was done. When the open wound was placed in a condition with a high content of oxygen, it healed overnight, while it takes 14 days in normal condition. There is other report that the man who got an accident 5 years ago was placed in such condition with high oxygen content and high pressure, then high air pressure, atmospheric pressure. Then he could use hand and even he could write after this treatment. Another report is about the little girl who fell into the well more than 58 hours and stayed there in the well with her foot pushed in her face. Her name is Jessica McClure.
She was carried to the
Medron Hospital. She was received the similar treatment to be placed in a chamber with high air pressure and high oxygen content. Her feet were purple by that time, but turned pink after 2 hours treatment. But the little toe didn't become pink, so it had to be cut off. But this report proves the excellency of the condition of the creation time, namely the elimination of harmful short waves from the universe by the frozen water layer around the firmament, and high content of oxygen and carbon dioxide and high atmospheric pressure, and all the benefit from the hydrogen firmament around the earth at that time. It was the wonderful world God made. It was designed to last forever. But sin marred and spoiled the wonderful plan God made. Sin made the world disastrous place. But God devised a plan to save the mankind from its sin and to restore them into eternal happy world. It cost great sacrifice to God, even the death of His only begotten Son. His sacrifice, by the death on the Calvary Hill, we as sinners found hope to live again in the beautiful home in heaven. Jesus be praised. Health. Are you interested? Today, I want to talk about diabetes. Diabetes is the disease known with too much blood sugar in blood, and characterized with prolonged sore, which does not heal, tiredness, malcirculation of the blood,